dandelion. And you can eat that. I'll show you. Pick one, and then you put it in your mouth. Dandelion. You put it in your mouth and you pluck it off. I am under my cedar, and I already knew that we need to ground ourselves every day on Mother Earth. And then I saw a health seminar on YouTube, and they were confirming that as well. They had doctors there, and they were saying that we need to ground ourselves every day for an hour. They call it earthing. So what I'm doing here is I'm earthing myself. I am lying down on the grass under the tree, and I'm listening to the blue god defend the property, and I'm listening to a blue jay. He is talking to his friend, and it is nice and peaceful here. I really like it. I look really funky in this video, but it is okay. Monumental. Alrighty. Nature is so important for us. If everybody could discover that. Richard Berman too, man. Richard Berman, you're pale. You're pale as heck. Go into nature and get some vitamin D and touch a tree. Feel how that feels. Feel that tree. Maybe your perception is going to change. Maybe you're going to feel the life in it and feel how connected that is to all of us, this life. The oxygen that we breathe into our air. Don't take that for granted. Okay? You can't make that kind of oxygen in synthetically like that. That smell of the tree, the tree produced it. It went through the cells of the tree. That's amazing. Maybe you will realize that when you do a campaign for the logging industry, maybe you'll realize the tree that you touched. Maybe you will realize that the tree you touched is precious, and that all the other trees are precious, and that you cannot possibly work for the logging industry and make a slander campaign or a commercial for them saying that whatever, you know, we need our wood products or stuff like that to make paper cups and toilet paper out of 10,000 year old amazing trees. I don't know how old they get, several thousand years old. And I think the oldest, very oldest trees are like 10,000 years old. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they are thousands of years old. Sequoias and redwood trees. They have been here before Christ. They've been here when Zarathustra roamed the earth. And you want to make toilet paper and paper cups out of it. You want to help the logging industry with their disgusting smear campaigns and luring commercials. You want to work for them. I don't think you can if you develop passion in your brain. If you realize the preciousness of the cells in this tree here. You see the sun shining through it. There's life in it. Life. And it breathes out oxygen. People don't take that for granted. Ever. Don't ever take that for granted. Here's the Pieris japonica. This is the teacher plant. In Buddhism, in the original Buddhism, there is no creator, there is no man in the sky with a beard or without the beard, or with a beer in his hand or not. There is no such thing. Okay, there is no daddy who's going to punish us if we don't behave, if we are not subordinate. Not in Buddhism, at least not in the original teachings, not in the Dhammapada. Those are all ethic teachings. And the original teachings from the Buddha are about ethics philosophy. That's all. That's all it focuses on. Not on a god or goddess that wants blood sacrifices. And that's the worst I have ever heard. In India they are conducting blood sacrifices with innocent animals and children for a Buddhist bloodthirsty goddess similar to Lakshmi. And this is absolutely hideous. All of them are hideous. All of those gods and sacrifices that they created in India are hideous. All people who conduct sacrifices are the sickest, most neurotic, most damaged people in the world. And don't take offense to this. Heal it. Okay? That's all I can say. Heal this insanity, this mental illness. We're having now the year 2014. Okay? When I was 18 years old, back in the 80s, when this house here was built, I thought for sure when we reached past 2000 that all of this is past. All of these horrible things, all of these hideous things that are going on, all of these religious rituals and this crazy insanity, this war in the Middle East, all of this will be gone. That's what I thought. No, far from it. It's craziness as it ever was, and maybe worse. I don't know. It's just, maybe those people that are insane, they are having the most children, and it just keeps proliferating itself. That insanity is being cultivated almost. So, and I see now humanity splitting off into different branches. I see that the human species is definitely gonna zip apart. And I think the first zip it's already starting to. The groundwork for that is already being laid right now. People are still able to breed among each other at this point, but it won't take very long until there are two separate species where they cannot intermix anymore. They won't be compatible anymore anatomically, not just for the genitalia, but also for the sperm and the egg. That is not, just like a dog and I cannot breed. So that is going to happen for sure, because there comes the point where they have been apart for so long. And I think it will first happen between the intellectuals and the non-intellectuals. So the intellectuals are going to split off from the human species. And Friedrich Nietzsche in the late 1800s has already been talking about this, almost like he had a vision of that happening, because he's been talking about the superhuman race, a superhuman species that is going to evolve from, and it has nothing to do with race, okay? Nothing. It has nothing to do with gender, it has nothing to do with sexual orientation, it has nothing to do with any of this. It has nothing to do with skin color or religion or any of this. It has to do with intelligence. So, and there are some religious people who are intelligent. The intelligent ones, they don't preach to the others, so they're content with their own beliefs. Those are intellectuals if they dive deeper into all the material, and if they don't preach, and if they don't kill an abortion doctor, and if they get into philosophy, they are also intellectuals. So the intelligent ones, the ethical ones, the gentle people, they're going to zip off from the other ones, because they cannot breed with the other ones anymore. They cannot, unless they're raped, you know, at this point might still work. But at some point, even if they're raped, they won't conceive anymore. So that might happen in 50 or 100 years. But it's going to happen maybe in 200 years. Maybe it takes longer. There's no way that someone who's intelligent, educated, craving knowledge is going to cuddle with somebody who only talks about drinking beer and fucking and baseball or something like this. There's no way this is going to happen. It doesn't matter. For me personally, the guy could be my dream man physically, could have all the attributes of my dream man. If he is only interested in sports, competition sports, or if he is maybe intelligent but interested also in competition sport, that already is a no for me. Just that he is into competition sports, that alone will repel me from that person. But if I see somebody who's like this gorgeous to me and has even nice, but it talks only about baseball or basketball or whatever, you know, competition sports, particularly those competition sports with animals, horse racing or jumping or something like this, there's no possible way I could even touch that. I don't even want to shake that person's hand. But it's like, if there's a gorgeous guy who I meet and he is maybe even nice, fairly nice, and he talks only about, or he listens to Britney Spears and or some other idiotic pop singer, or he is into competition sport, he's into shallow things, you know, I am out. I want nothing to do with that person. There's no way I can do it. No way I can even sit close to that person. No way I can put my arm around that person. There's absolutely no chance. It is, to me, it's repulsive if somebody is not intelligent. I'm sorry to say it, you know, it's not a peace message. But what I want people to do is, and Not so that they can find themselves an intellectual woman. You know, I'm certainly not the one you want. But I'm talking about there's certain intellectual women who are dressed more and towards your direction. You can't get them if you are dumb. There's no way. There is no chance. Examples. Do I have an example somewhere? For example, Emma Watson. Okay, to me that's like the prototype of an intellectual, beautiful, hot, amazing woman. Um, there's no way. I don't think. I mean, Emma, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's no way that Emma would want to cuddle with a truck driver that has tattoos on him and who thinks he's badass, and he thinks he's unique because of the tattoos, and that sets him apart. Like, yes, the naked women on the arm and the swastikas and the whatever shit, you know, like card games on the arm. Here, bleeding cards. That's motherfucking badass. You know, it's like, no. Emma Watson will not cuddle with somebody like this. And that's what I mean. That's exactly what I'm talking about. This is humanity zipping apart, you know, into Emma Watson and the truck driver on the other side. So, yes, and out of this comes a division. There comes, and it's being politicized. It's, of course, because the right-wing agenda, they will target people in a specific way. They will work with their minds, of course. They will put out smear campaigns. Sometimes they're so subtle, these smear campaigns, that nobody even notices that they have been smear campaigned. I mean, it happens like all the time. Richard Berman is big on this, market psychologist. I talk about it all the time. It's huge, you know. Richard Berman himself is a smart cookie. He would not watch baseball. I don't think so. I mean, Richard, what do? You watch baseball? Come on. Don't tell me that, you know. You will want to look like this to the public so that people will like you. Oh yeah. No. What Richard Berman is doing, I know, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes into a sadomaso club, that kind of stuff, like, oh, them mean chicks, give me some whipping. He feels like he deserves that. Oh, I think he probably feels like he deserves it. I think I'm going a little far now. I have to be afraid of being sued, so I better not put that in. But yeah, that unfortunately we're censored like this. This really sucks, because on YouTube we're supposed to say everything that is on our minds, right? So I'm coming to the conclusion now that from all the conversations I've had with people in the last couple of years, that definitely the religion in which somebody grows up is not the only thing that shapes that person's mindset. Definitely intelligence plays a huge role in how the person is going to grow up. And of course also how the parents are, you know, no matter what religion they're in. If the parents have the basic ethical values that are universal, if they are teaching those to their children. And I've seen Christians many times who sway out of their own religion because of their own ethical understanding that comes natural to them. That is, in their nature. Same with Muslims, same with Jewish people. A Jewish person or a Muslim, an Orthodox Jewish person, they, the Jewish religion, they have these sacrifices, and these people, they would never do something like this. They would never sacrifice an animal. The kind-hearted, ethical Jewish people and Muslims, they would never do something like this. Or someone from any religion, it doesn't matter. They would never do something like this. They would move away, they will go to another society, or they will become an atheist, or they'll figure some way out, or if they stay in the same religion, they will make their own rules about this. And I've seen that also many times. And so that's why I know religion alone is not the only thing that drills a person. It's not the only thing that shapes a person. So definitely intelligence and genetics plays a huge role, plays the biggest role, I would say. But religion, the reason why I'm against it is because it does have a large influence on children, and it shapes people to a certain degree, and it slows down progressive thinking drastically, and it slows down the healing process on planet Earth. So, all these examples, like these people that go against evolution, for example, and then they will push it into schools, and the religion has two legs in the public, which is a total breach of the U.S. constitutional establishment, and then the constitution are completely rewritten because of this, and then the right-wing agenda latches onto that religion because it helps them in their greed, and all of the destruction that the destructive, all of these people that want to cause destruction for their greed, they will use religion to their advantage in order to get people to go on their side and think that is okay, or it's justified in the name of Jesus or something. So all of this is unbelievably insane. But the blood sacrifices, that is the absolute worst that I have ever heard, and people, they need to come to their senses, that there is no God or goddess out there that requires this. Absolutely not. And if there is any God, and you make your own God, make it a good God. You can erase that old God, and you can make your own, a better one, one that doesn't punish you, one that doesn't require blood sacrifices, one that doesn't look like a woman with 8 legs. It's just insane. Why create something like this? Why want to make a monster god, right? I mean, why not make a god that looks like it's a pudding made out of light blue jello, in a light blue jello pudding that you turn the form upside down, you let it slip out of its form, and there is this light blue wobbly jello pudding, and that could be the representation of your new god. And that's what I did, and that's a whole lot nicer, the concept. It is totally soft and smooth and nice. And yeah, that's my art, that's my creativity. You make your own, but make it an ethical God. Make it a God that just wants peace and love. And that's ultimately what the eternal universe is all about. And you envision your God as a certain form or something, but the concept of your God is really the eternal universe. And the eternal universe doesn't have a specific shape. It has the shape of that what's in it. That's what we create, basically. What you create. So you can create anything, you know, from scratch, basically, as an artist. And that's the beauty of it. So to me, all of these things are equated. Art is the infinitive universe, is love, is kindness, is ethics, is compassion. All of this, you know, and that's what we need to understand. That's the concept of what, it doesn't matter what religion somebody is. That's the concept we need to understand. The religions are obstacles. The dogma of most religions is an obstacle, and people need to break out of this. But if they stay with that religion, at least what I'm asking from people to do is think about ethics philosophy, and think about that when we talk about love, that we talk about 100% responsibility from our side, caring, mother instinct, being good, being gentle, not doing sacrifices, not hunting, not hurting anyone. Okay, and that's also what the Buddha said. He said, stay away from anything that deals with hunting, with poisons, with exploitation, and so on.